Welcome to AwakeningYOU channel. We hope you found something here that sparked your interest and assists you in your awakening journey. If you appreciate what we do, please support us. Thank you. Performative spirituality usually doesn't look like someone just completely inventing something and blatantly lying. Usually what performative spirituality looks like is that someone pretends that their peak experience or their peak consciousness or their peak level of happiness, which they experienced briefly 1 or 2 times, is their normal everyday experience. Pain or so-called negative emotions or so-called bad actions they take are suppressed or not mentioned. Or the person says that their consciousness is what they would like their consciousness to be, or what they think that their consciousness should be. For example, I always feel grateful, or I enjoy every moment, or I feel amazing every day, or I wake up every day with a smile on my face is performative spirituality, if those statements are not literally true. Of course, if those statements are literally true, then it's fine to say them. Fake it till you make it doesn't work for spirituality, it just leads to suppressed emotions and possibly an increased shadow. It can overinflate your ego. As stated, it can make the people around you feel worse. Perhaps the person doing performative spirituality tells themselves that they are doing this to inspire their audience to greater heights. However, performative spirituality doesn't actually help other people, any more than people posting a fake reality on Facebook helps their friends. If someone tells a story that they used to feel like crap, but now every day is amazing, then that sounds authentic. Right? They admit that they felt badly. But unless it's literally true that today every single day is amazing, then I still consider this to be performative spirituality. This story of "my life used to suck, but now I feel amazing" can easily be used by a person to boost their own ego or to make a good impression on someone else or to sell a course. However, if the statement is not literally true that now every single day is amazing, then I consider it to be performative spirituality. A statement like "every moment is a gift" is, in my mind, on the border between okay and performative spirituality. The statement conjures a picture that the person saying that statement experiences every single moment as a gift. It is likely that this is not true. But on the other hand, the statement can be intended as a sharing of a high vibration principle. Indeed, it's true that from a high vibrational perspective, every moment is a gift. Although that principle shouldn't be used to suppress so-called negative emotions if those come up, and that principle shouldn't be used to bulldoze unhappy or suffering parts of yourself. As I said, I consider this statement to be a border case. I think simply being authentic about what your experience and your day-to-day is actually like, is better than doing this kind of performative spirituality. Again, authenticity is one of the most important values in our eyes, so long as it's paired with a bit of common sense. We place authenticity higher than the value of, focus on feeling good in the moment to keep your vibration high. We think some people on earth unjustly pedestalize the value of keeping their vibration high by focusing on feeling good in the current moment. If you want to pedestalize a virtue, we suggest pedestalizing authenticity, or pedestalizing the practice of observing whatever comes up. It's also good to occasionally ask yourself why you are feeling a certain thing. For example, if you desire a sports car, then you can ask yourself why, and maybe you'll find out that what you actually desire is love or positive attention or a relationship. If you ask yourself what's under anger, then you may find that underneath is pain or fear. Rather than telling someone you are angry with them, it can actually be far more effective to tell a non-malicious person that you're afraid or that you are in pain. For the people around you, and for your own sake, it's best to not engage in performative spirituality. Just be authentic instead. You can still share the moments where you're feeling great. I would just like to invite you to not pretend that those moments are your moment-to-moment consciousness if they're not. I would like to invite you, if you're sharing, to also occasionally share what's difficult or painful in the present, and not just share what was painful 2 years ago that you've now overcome. Frankly, most people on Earth are suffering right now or are at least experiencing significant challenges. A recent study said 44% of American men are experiencing suicidal thought. So, to anyone on Earth who is struggling, you are not alone. We are with you. You are not somehow flawed or broken. Most people are struggling right now. While yes, ultimately you are responsible for your life, it's simply not the case that 44% of American men just happen to be weirdly broken. It's the system that's broken. This doesn't mean that you should sit on the couch and do nothing. You're still responsible for your life. But if you're struggling, you're not broken. It's the system that sucks. Unfortunately, it doesn't help that people who struggle are almost getting gaslit by people engaging in performative spirituality, such as people who falsely claim that they wake up happy every morning. We think it would psychologically benefit Earth humans if more Earth humans were brave enough to stand up and say that occasionally they are in pain or crying or suffering or engaging in coping mechanisms or whatever it is that they're going through, because then other people can feel that there's nothing wrong with them specifically. We also think it's perhaps not very kind when people spread a message of, I can manifest whatever I want, and so can you, if this isn't actually true. There simply doesn't exist a technique that can let an average Earth human, as they are now, manifest whatever they desire. If that technique existed, I would share it, but it doesn't exist. Indeed, if there was some online course on Earth that genuinely allowed an average person to manifest whatever they wanted, without too much work or practice, then that course would spread like wildfire and soon the majority of the world population, including non-spiritual people, would be using that. The reason why this technique doesn't exist is that you can only truly manifest whatever you wish if you are pure or empty, in the sense of being unburdened by illusions or old pain. It also requires aligning your soul, rational mind, emotions, and subconscious mind in the same direction. Yes, a person who has achieved these things has great manifestation powers, but the average person on Earth doesn't have the required purity or alignment in order to consistently manifest whatever they want. And it's also not possible to very quickly get an average person to the required level of purity and alignment either, in normal Earth circumstances. If a technique existed to reach the required purity and alignment quickly, I would share it, but it too doesn't exist. Suppose someone asked me to teach them how to manifest anything they wanted, and they were willing to put in the time. Then I would start by asking them to spend years on just growing spiritually in general. There are many spiritual paths, and some paths are more suited to some people, but if you want a suggestion, take a look at my previous message, Hakann, the path of Kriya Yoga. After that I would suggest they try a basic manifestation technique, which is the following. Suppose you want to manifest a romantic relationship. Then first check if you have any pain or resistance to that. One way to do that is to just visualize being alone or growing old alone. If this causes discomfort or so-called negative feelings to surface, then observe those, or use another technique to release those. Repeat this until you have released your pain or resistance related to relationships. This could take a while. You might even need to visit a spiritual healer or psychologist to assist with this. Once you have done that, you can start with what Earth humans might think of the actual manifestation technique. Think about having that thing right now. Visualize it, if you can. Think what it would be like to have that thing right now. Feel the positive emotions that you would feel if you had that thing right now. Don't think about getting that thing in the future, think about having that thing right now, and feel the corresponding emotions. Do this for a few minutes a couple of times. Then go out into the real world and take action towards that thing, in this case for example by putting yourself in situations where you can meet people. Follow your intuition. If you feel a tug to go towards a party, then go, even if normally you don't enjoy parties. Or alternatively you can first release your pain and resistance, and then use what Tunia called priestly magic. For example, you can release pain and resistance and then say or think one time, "May the following happen in accordance with the highest divine blueprint. I am asking wise and benevolent beings, forces, and aspects of existence to give me healing and assist me with this. I am entering into a romantic relationship that is happy and good for me. Thank you, now. After that, go out into the world, and follow the subtle tug of your intuition.